Hello, this is Greg Alsman, Galactic Gregs. I got a question for you. What is it that the Congress is trying to hide from us about UAP, UFO technology disclosures, and why? I mean, if there was nothing to see, what would there be to hide? Something is really weird here because, as you may know, there was quite a movement in the Congress for full disclosure, like immediate full disclosure. And it came out in the previous National Defense Authorization Act and the 2024 Defense Authorization Act. They put it in there, but a caveat got inserted. You have five senators led by Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer had pushed for this full disclosure, and a lot of people in the House were on board with that. But somebody in the House on the Republican side added some provisions in this language that basically says, oh, yeah, it's ought to be disclosed within 25 years. Oh, yeah, 25 years. Unless, of course, the disclosing agency just wants to disclose it, which apparently they've not been too forthcoming with already. And but then there's also a provision where the president can, in the needs of national interest, override that 25-year requirement and just keep bearing it. Kind of like whatever happened to that president who came up no longer living back in 1964. My guys, what is happening here? I'm going to share some stuff. But guys, so there's questions about technology. Is there technology that, if released in our society, that could be not only world changing, but maybe catastrophic? Is that the case? Is that what they're looking for? Or is there nothing to see here? There's allegations of both sides. So I'm going to share some things with you. Just buckle up, Buttercup, because we're going on a ride and we're going to look at some of the stuff I put out before in regards to this. So if you're not subscribed to my channel, subscribe, bang the notification bell, and click all. So here we go, my friends. This is my channel. And if you come in here under videos and click something like most popular, you'll notice that my most popular videos, three of them really, this is a compendium of these two here, are on UFO technology that people on Earth have been working on for decades, attempts to develop anti-gravity. Maybe this is something because you don't want to put on a tinfoil cap or not. But it just so happens this is a review at the Marshalls in Huntsville, Alabama, that had a lot of this whole room. We had a room packed full of propulsion engineers, advanced space system engineers. That room didn't have just a bunch of UFO advocates in it. Had none. It was all propulsion engineers, a room full of them, and talking seriously, nobody laughing or giggling about this review of various attempts to develop anti-gravity technologies over the several years. And Amy Eskridge, she had set up a foundation. She was going to try to fund research in this area because the funding thereof had been very problematic. And so the reason I bring this up is because it's quite possible that what we have came from here, came from us, came from people in this world. And if it didn't, it could have possibly. So, and things like that could be developed going forward. But is this stuff dangerous? How dangerous is it? Why is this technology safe? It's very hard to get funding for these things, not just a giggle factor. There may be other extenuating circumstances. And that's what this was all about. And it turns out her little institute didn't get funding, and she's no longer with us, unfortunately. Very smart young lady that met with some personal tragedy, and it's a sad thing. But anyway, you can see her on this video. First video I posted on this channel was this one. But anyways, check that out, and you'll see other videos about, down to earth rocket propulsion technology, various launches, the air turbo rocket that's been developed. You'll see a lot of other things. I don't think you'll see this on any other YouTube channel, this air turbo rocket. You'll see quite a few other things in here. That's my most popular videos, including a weird video where I talk about how I got this hat and the weird stuff that happened on that occasion. Anyway, my friends, let's look at this too. I did a video also saying that whatever this is, it's not from space. At least there's no evidence for it from what I was showing here. So, this is something you need to consider. This is something that you might want to watch. Now, I leave some qualifiers in there. I can't say for a fact that it's not from space, but there's certainly some interesting lack of evidence for that. But anyway, so let's get into this. So according to this philosopher named Nick Bostrom, this is from The Hill, which is the publication you will find within the Capitol buildings in Washington, D.C., the congressional offices, the cafeterias, everywhere. If you happen to be running through the halls of Congress, which I've done in the past, promoting space development when I was the chair of the National Space Society Policy Committee for 10 years, leading for the development of technology for space, for privatization of space, and other such things. But anyway, so Nick Bostrom, he had come up with this idea that we may one day develop or discover technology that could devastate human civilization. And they called it his vulnerable world theory, that only extraordinary interventions such as an unprecedented global cooperation or surveillance can prevent sufficiently dangerous new technology from ushering in civilizational collapse. Now, this is something I talked about on my Green Griggs channel when I did a video called A Nuke in Every Pot. And I've also talked about the vulnerability of our civilization in one video where I talked about the story of I-Pencil, how fragile our civilization is. And you might know I've often cited Astronomer Royal of the United Kingdom, Sir Martin Rees, and some of his thinking in these areas. So that it's possible that we could have technology that would be very devastational to our society. What kind of technology could UFOs lead you to? Anyway, so let me come down here and look at this. So and this talks about how a lot of people think that this kind of technology will lead us to the disclosure of maybe not all life being ours or all intelligence being ours, especially if it's not from here, and that would just bring the world together and create a moment of great peace and kumbaya. But on the other side, there's those who think it would cause a uniquely destabilizing event. Yeah. They talk about the Chinese military in here, how they rely heavily on espionage and basically stealing and emulating U.S. technology. Also, technology from other Western partners is copied heavily from the Chinese Communist Party and used for their People's Liberation Army and other purposes, whatever serves their interest. And it talks about how the Russia's defense industry is in shambles and being compounded by the recent activities in Ukraine. So, and it draws attention to the fact that these are nuclear-armed states, and they would naturally fear a sudden injection of advanced UFO technology into a comparatively mature industrial base like America has right now. So they go forward in this article to propose that either China or Russia would be motivated to engage in a range of what they call here destabilizing actions to hedge against U.S. attaining an insurmountable strategic advantage. Now, what do they mean here by engaging in a range of destabilizing actions? Could it go to the point of warfare, like kinetic or something just shy of kinetic? Destabilizing actions, that's a little bit concerning. But they said that such states may seek to actively prevent us from developing these kind of paradigm shift technologies that can be used for military purposes derived from UFO technology, UFO, UAP, whatever you want to call it. So they think that this could lead to a devastating global conflict. And that's what he says here. And that's what I'm talking about, that he really thinks this could lead to world war. And could it? You tell me what you think. I'm not saying it would. It's not like we're not already perhaps on the verge of one. So this could be just the last straw on the camel's back. But, this talks about how some of the senators appear to suspect some of our adversaries. They said, in fact, they believe that they've already retrieved highly advanced UFO technology, as in China and Russia. And this testimony by Grush, how you pronounce his name, the guy who was the whistleblower, he's alleged that. So maybe it's already out there. And if it's already out there, why do we care that we got it? I don't know, guys. This is all strange stuff. And if a country were to have such technology, look out. We could be in all kind of trouble. I've heard all kinds of people talk, well, we got all this technology, nobody can do this, nobody can do that, we'll come out ahead. Well, who says they don't have it if it's out there? And who says even then if it would be game changing? Because typically weapon systems to be effective have to be deployed at scale. But that's a whole different story. So if you got something so tight under the lids that almost nobody, including a lot of people at the top of the Pentagon, know about it, then it's not at scale. But maybe it's so game changing it don't need to be. So we'll talk about that in a minute. We'll do a little postulating here. So anyway, here they're assuming if a state had harnessed advanced UFO technology, it could strike globally with impunity while rendering its adversaries' capabilities militarily ineffective. And so they're talking about a devastating knockout attack that could be done. A first strike civilization, first strike scenario, civilizational vulnerabilities is what they're talking about here. I want to talk about that. So what he's focusing here is, hey, we might come up with a way to stabilize a vulnerable world. And this came from Bostrom, this whole idea of global governance, which I find is scary, maybe scared than anything else they want to talk about in here. And he goes on to talk about the open skies treaty we had, how maybe we could have treaties and regimes that everybody could look at what everybody else has got. It hasn't worked out so well recently, has it? No. In fact, all the countries have been pulling out of treaties. So, and there was always, there's all that notion, trust but verify. Well, apparently we're not trusting and the verifications weren't working too good. And because the verification didn't work too, we're not so trusting these days for some strange reason. So would this work in our world? These kind of preventative policy recommendations they have in here that scientists and multinational groups that want to study UFO technology might have at their disposal to ensure that somebody don't want to go to war over it. So is this also why what people are doing have been thwarted to some degree? And he's talking here about how Ronald Reagan and Gorbachev got together and had this lighthearted discussions. Hey, we'd all unite if there was an external enemy. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe not. So and here we are. This is talking about where some of the records may be released. Yeah. Yeah, some UFO records must be released. Yeah, in 25 years. In 25 years, if the president or somebody don't rule otherwise. Yeah. Space invaders. Experts believe military targets attack UFOs to exploit extraterrestrial tech and weapons. This article is proposing that people are actually taking them out of the sky. That would be like incredibly stupid. Maybe we are that dumb, because there have been reports of us firing on things. That just does not strike me as being particularly bright. I mean, why would you want to fire at something from a civilization that was far in advance of you? This would be like you're an Aztec, and because you discover that the gods among you are bleeding, you attack them with your jade stones, and they pull out their muskets on you and mount their horses and spikes and eradicate you. Oh, that's what happened to the Aztecs when Cortez was there. So, do you want to be an Aztec with your little jade sword and go after these things? That's the kind of stuff you're talking about. Why would we be doing something like that? It's just nuts to even think that. But who knows? We got people that got a lot of arrogance, and maybe they think, yeah, let's go take them out and take some of it. Yikes. Maybe they've got these civilizations, if there's something out there that's got this stuff, maybe they got some rules that keep them from applying full force upon us right now. Maybe we're taking advantage of that. I don't know, guys. That's a long pole. That's a hard one to swallow either way you take it, even if any of this is happening. But see, this guy here says, hey, there's insufficient evidence. We don't know about any of this stuff. So this is the former chief UFO hunter, the former head of the Department of Defense's All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office. All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, the AARO. And his name is Sean Kirkpatrick. And he's, says, hey, we discovered a few things, and none were about aliens. Well, if you go back to my video where I said they're not from outer space, it's not saying that somebody don't have this stuff. It might be somebody from here. It might be China. It might be Russia. It might be somebody in his backyard tinkering and building this thing and flying it around, guys. So what is it? What are they? He just said they're not about aliens. None were about, at least the evidence, the things they discovered. He didn't say it wasn't aliens. Like the guy on the History Channel. I'm not saying it was aliens, but it's aliens, you know. I don't know, guys. Well, this guy, he might be in the know, but then again, he might be in the disinformation department, you know, the official disinformation department. Who knows? Sean Kirkpatrick, former director of the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office. So, you know, he said that it's inconceivable that a program of such import would not ever have been briefed to the 50 to 100 people at the top of the U.S. government over the decades of its existence. Well, you'd think, unless maybe it was just so changed that the people that had their hands on it were just scared to death of it, maybe. Anyway, so yeah, this talks about a smear campaign, blah, 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 X-Files, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I don't know, guys. Look here. UFOs remain a mystery to lawmakers after a classified briefing, which apparently just occurred. So, you know, they just had a briefing, and one of the congressmen come out and said that, I don't know if I got that article open or not. Anyway, you know, it takes one to be real, change humanity forever, even if all the rest of them are not real or being lied to, who knows? There's a lot of articles about this. And there's this whistleblower says there's hidden dimensions. These things are popping in and out. They're not from space. They're from right here, just coming in and out of other dimensions, which, you know, that's a one possible plausible explanation, considering that they seem to be able to pop in and out in the sky. People claim there's things that pop in and out of their bedroom. What is that? Anyway, guys, I don't know. Here we are. This one congressman, though, says that he thinks they're analogous to what we would call angels, devils. This is Congressman Eric Burleson, Republican from Missouri, which is something I actually suggested, that the whole phenomenology associated with these reports very much has parallels with things that have been claimed for the apparitions of angels and demons and such. I'm not saying that they are or they are not. I'm just saying there's some interesting parallels. And this guy is drawing the same conclusion here. And I think I said that in my video way back when. Well, this just came out, so maybe I'm ahead of these guys. So maybe I'm a little bit ahead of these guys, but I'm not saying that's what it is either. In my opinion, I think it's either angels or it's man-made. Aha. I think the most likely explanation is it's man-made. Well, that is a really good analogy there. I'm not going to repeat some of the stuff he said in here because they got some really adult language to be coming out from a Congress critter. Yikes. Anyway, I don't talk that kind of stuff on my channel here. And on my channels. Pentagon breaks silence on that viral UFO that flew around and looked like a spaghetti monster. You know, some people have the so-called religion called the flying spaghetti monster or the jellyfish UFO. And they came out with a very earth-shaking pronouncement on that, which was essentially no comment. I kid you not. Pretty much no comment. That was their response. And now they did go in a little bit more detail, saying, you know, this thing, you know, it's kind of strange in how it, you know, looks like it phases in and out and changes color. I don't know. They talked some various people on there. Not really worth going into for the purposes of this discussion, but stop the share. Hello. So, guys, here's the story. We don't know what this stuff is, but why is it so important that suddenly when in this huge rush to get this disclosed, somebody put a lid on it? And that's what passed. It was the NDAA with a lid language. The lid language says, yeah, they got to disclose it in 25 years, unless they elect otherwise. Oh, or if they want to, then disclose it now. Oh, yeah. Like they've been super forthcoming with it already. What is it? Why is there such importance of hiding it? And now maybe the people who put that language in there to hide it don't know either. Maybe they're just making a supposition that there's something dangerous here. And that's not a bad supposition. So here's the thing. What if you had the ability to cohere the random energy that's thought by some to be in a cubic centimeter of free space, where you have particle creation annihilation going on in the froth of the very sub-level of the universe itself, the direct particle creation, anti-creation idea. And I have read some reports that believe that you would have something like 10 to the 37, maybe as low as 10 to the 38 joules of energy, if you could cohere it, make it all do one thing at once instead of being random. Well, we have no idea how to do that. And if it was a lower number, 10 to the 38, that's not more than an atom bomb. What if you had the technology to pop in and out of any place, like some people say this stuff can do, and you just beam this into some room anywhere in the world, or there's somebody you didn't like, and said, go boom. Oh, yeah. That would be game changing. That would be like the scenario of the Forbidden Planet at the end, you know, where they discovered this great civilization wiped itself out in the night when they went to sleep because the monsters that are in had all kind of power through this new technology they developed, and they wiped themselves out. Is this what we're talking about? Yeah, that was a very good movie from the 1950s, the Forbidden Planet. It was way ahead of its time, and maybe it was already addressing this key topic. You know, where do we go with our technology? Are we there? Does the biotechnology we're developing get us there today, as has been suggested by Sir Martin Rees? Are we already in a tight spot? Well, if nothing else, that might be one good reason not to have all of our eggs in this third rock from the sun basket. Maybe we do need to spread out just to protect ourselves from ourselves, because otherwise our existence may be challenged. It may be the reason why you look out in space, and like in my video, Not From There, we ain't seeing much evidence. Nothing we can really put our finger on. It's just like a little too quiet. It's certainly, there should be lots of evidence, given the age of the universe and all the numbers we're seeing of planets. We should be able to look out in the sky and directly see lots of evidence of something going on out there. But no, maybe civilizations can't survive themselves. Let's hope that's not the case. But maybe the best insurance to survive is to try to get everybody off this third rock before we're gone. Maybe nobody manages to do that. That's kind of hard to believe. But what's going on, guys? There's lots of mysteries out there. And we're going to be talking about more of these mysteries in the days to come on this channel. Like that's the Fermi paradox. Why aren't they here already? They should be right here. We should be able to, you know, not only just see them up there, they ought to be right here and visibly, but they're not. Well, there's several theories for that. Several theories. I know some of you will put some of that in the chat room, and that's good. Several reasons, several explanations. I'm sure I'm going to hear a lot of that, including it don't exist. The world's flat. I don't buy that. But anyway, I can show you why it's not flat. I can prove it with videos and pictures of sunsets and sunrises. But anyway, that's a whole nother story, my friends. So please subscribe to my channel, bang the update notification bell, and click all so you get more of my videos here. And we're just asking the big cosmic questions. Why are we here? And can we survive? Can we find things out there? Can we go into space and colonize it, develop it, with the technology to get us there, be it unconventional or conventional? We know how to do it with conventional old-fashioned rockets. So there's no excuse to not get her done, in my humble opinion. So thank you for, oh yeah, by the way, this t-shirt and this hat came to me from my good buddy Rex Bear with the Leak Project. You might like his show too. Check it out. Anyway, thank you everybody for watching. Greg out.